Right. Well, welcome everybody. This is the Great Discovery. We're going to be talking about channels this evening. Channels is our home, our space for communities, and we want to get you started on how to do it. What do you need to do? And how do you get your channel started? So I'm going to do just the beginning portions of it. I'm going to be spreading this out over the next, it's actually going to be every other week for 5 weeks. So I'm going to do 5 sessions with different aspects of channels. So today we're going to talk about what's important to have when you're creating that first page. Let me share my screen so we can get started on all things channels. All right. I do not want to see myself. There we go. All right. So we're going to talk about channels, which is a deep dive into what channels can do for us, where we want to, put all of the stuff that we have. Maybe we're used to having things in like a Facebook group, or we have a Discord, or we have different ways of creating a community. But we're going to talk about why it's important to have your community on the Great Discovery and how you can set that up correctly. So setting up your channel on the Great Discovery, it's a platform, where we're going to build our focus communities. It's a space where we can connect with our audience, with the people that are taking our courses, with people that are interested. Maybe they're not in our courses yet, but they want to learn more about us and connect with us because our courses, we want to build those relationships with people, and communities or channels allow us to do that. We can share, special like back end looks at what we're doing, those behind the scenes kind of things where people get a sneak peek into things that they wouldn't get to see. Maybe we're putting it on YouTube or wherever we're putting it. But if you want to bring them in and really give them a look and give them that membership that wows them and gives them that bonus extra, you're part of the in crowd with us, you're part of the community with us. That's the home of your channel community. So we're going to be able to connect directly with like-minded individuals. They're going to come in, they're going to understand what our mission is, what we're about, what we're offering, who is it for, all of these different things. And that is in our about section so that people can understand who we are and what we're doing. We're going to be able to customize things. We'll be able to create membership tiers that are specific to whatever it is our group is. Maybe you have a coaching program that you've done and people come in and they do group coaching and it's a 3-month group and you've got them and you're meeting with them. But, when it's over, what do? How do I continue to monetize that customer? How do I continue to bring them in and offer them services? And you could build an alumni group in a channel so that you are still giving them, you're updating them with things, you're still working with them, but it's at a little lower price level for them. But you haven't just completed that customer value, you're extending it out. So that's another reason that I highly recommend channels, especially for coaches who do group coaching, because you're not only are they still connecting with you, that client, but they're also connecting with that group that they just did a program with. So they've made personal connections as well. So it's a way for them to stay connected. And you can control the content. This is not an evergreen sort of a situation. This is where you are putting content in, whether it's daily, weekly, however you want to do it. That's completely up to you, but it is something that you're going to have to take care of. It is like a plant. You bring it home and it looks beautiful, but you have to take care of it. You have to give it some sunlight. You have to give it some water, or it's going to wither and die. So you want to make sure that when you do decide to get a channel or you start your channel, that you have material in there and you know what you're going to be doing and you do it consistently. All right. So what is in a channel? What are we doing? We're working on our community connections. We're facilitating targeted networking. It's important that we continually connect with the people in our network. You could have a free channel. You can have one membership that's free, and that allows you to connect with people as they get to know you and see the value that you add, that they may want to go take your course, go join your coaching program. Maybe you have a Sunday service and you want to be able to have that out anywhere and everywhere, you're going to be able to put that in a channel. You can make it gated by having a membership tier that costs money, or you can put it out there for free so that you can spread the message all around the world, because we do have live translations in there. You can keep those interactions. And why are interactions so important? Well, it gives you an idea when they are responding to you in your posts. What are they interested in? What did they get out of this? What was the aha moment? What was the thing that they learned? What do they want to know more about? And if you're paying attention and you're connecting with them, it's going to help guide the content that you are providing for what your audience wants. And it's very important to stay connected with that. It makes a great discussion. That engagement is wonderful. Being able to talk with others and connect with others, it really builds that relationship bond, and it also fosters that collaborative learning. Right? You might learn something from one of your audience members, one of the people that's one of the members on your channel that might suggest something, and that it makes you take a deeper look into that. So it's going to expand on that. Um, we're going to talk about content strategy a little bit tonight. I think making sure you have content planned out is really, really important. We want to make sure that if you're going to post, say, twice a week in your channel, that you continuously post twice a week in your channel. You don't want to, if every Tuesday morning you're putting something out there and then you miss a Tuesday and you're like, oh, I'll just do it on Wednesday. Well, you're kind of letting your audience down. They're looking for that. They're going to that channel. They're going to see and look for your content. They know it comes out on Tuesdays, but you didn't get it out there. They're going to wonder what's going on. Why isn't it there? They're going to start to go, well, maybe they're not that serious about it. So consistency in posting is one of the most crucial things that you can do to maintain your channel and to have it be successful. Um, and then diversify your content, right? So you're not only posting videos or only promoting a course in there. You want to make sure that you have a lot of different things, the different pieces of value that are going to add to the audience's overall experience in your channel, and match it to the interest. Like I said before, it's really, really important that you listen to what they're talking about. If you're asking them a question and they give you an answer and you're discussing it, and there's this deep discussion about certain topics, maybe something that you just touched upon in the piece that you posted, but they want to know more about it, great. Now you've got more things that you can post about, right? They're telling you, hey, this is what we want, and we need to listen to that. And then we get into the monetization of channels and why it's so important. It is really amazing that you can monetize if you're a podcaster, if you're, like I said, a coach, if you have a service, a Sunday service, or some kind of religious service. There's so many different ways that you can do things with your channel and to monetize it, right? Even you can just do the same thing. Maybe we have one person, I think Debbie's here tonight, and one of the things in her membership channels is she is doing things to support pets, right? Or charities or different things. And so if you want to pay at a higher level, that money that she's collecting in for that, she is actually donating. And so it's your way to stay connected and have, you're kind of making it at a different donation level for her channel, so that she's like, oh, we're going to sponsor this charity this month, or we're going to focus on this. So you learn about the charity and you know that the money that you're spending in the channel is going towards that charity. It's a really amazing thing. So having different monetization ways in your channel, so from free to the different paid levels that you want to have, are just is the best way to do things for getting your programs out there. So what do I mean by programs? I'm talking about a coaching program. Like I said, you can do that alumni group. You can do a coaching program in there. So, say you want someone to sign up for maybe it's a year-long coaching program. This is that connection space. You might be working with clients individually, but you can also do things as a group in that space that is at that level. And it can be a higher level. So, you can change it to, you can make it any level that you want. Maybe you just want to put workshops on once a month. If you're doing workshops once a month, well, maybe you have a $20 membership and they get all the stuff in the free, of course, and then they also get to attend a workshop that you put on once a month where they get really great learning from that. And that's all they want to do. Instead of trying to get people to come in all the time, oh, I need people to sign up for my workshop, and you're putting things out there, you're putting it on just on a like as a course. You could also have it as a monthly workshop, right? And put that in there so that they're signing up for that and they're going to have access. And the way they get access, well, it's got that membership tier. They're paying for that. They have access to those links that allow them to attend. So that's another idea on how to do it. You can also offer them the really premium content in there, right? So they're getting maybe, I'm doing some things with social media. So I'm going to be putting maybe templates in, or, I have one of my tiers on my podcasting channel gets you studio time with me, right? If you want to learn, I have my $40 membership to learn how to podcast, but I have the pro membership, which gives you so much studio time each month so that you actually get to go in the studio and I will help produce that episode for you. So that's a much higher level, right? But it gives them access. They're going to be putting a podcast out. They're going to be doing it every month. They want to have something, they know what their cost is, and they have someone there to do it for them. So these are just some ideas for you guys. What makes it successful? The keys to really being successful are knowing your audience, make sure that your content falls under the umbrella of what they want to learn, being really consistent in how you're posting. Like I said, if you're going to post once a week, make sure it's like at the same time in the same day every single week. If you're going to post every day, that's fine. You can just post it every day. I don't think times are going to matter quite as much. And then engage. That's one of the biggest misses I see people doing all of the time, is that they'll post something and someone will make a comment on it and they don't engage with them. And engaging with them does not mean, oh, thanks for the comment, or yes, that's great. It's what's the question you're going to ask them? How are you going to make this into an actual discussion with someone? I'm really glad you think that. What was it about that? Anything like that. What was the first thing you thought of when, asking questions that are relating to what they're talking about? You want to know more. Why did you like it so much? What was great about it? Anything like that. And continuously evolving your content. Just because you've done it that way doesn't mean you need to continue doing it that way. Give your audience what they're asking for. Really, really important. So what is different about our platform? One of the things that I love is it definitely builds a more structured community. When you invite somebody into the community and they sign up to be in your community, even at the free level, they are going to be placed on your team as a retail customer. Okay. Or if they are going to, if somebody else wants to refer people to someone else's channel, that person is going to get a retail customer out of that. But as the channel owner, you're also going to be able to get their information and you can market to them as well. Now, one of the things that is really important is when you are on a different platform and you're building your group, and I love it. I mean, I have groups on Facebook right now. I have one that's like around 2,000 people. I have other ones that are maybe 300 or 400, and then some smaller. I have a lot of them. But I'm not as active in there anymore. And I'll tell you why. I was in a group. One of these groups I think it had 58,000 members in the group. 58,000. It took them a long time to build this membership up, right? They've put years of their life into it. They've put a ton of information. There's a lot of resources. They've really built this out. And Facebook one day decided no, you can't have that group anymore. And they took it away. Didn't give them an explanation, didn't give them any warning, just shut down the group. They lost 58,000 members with a blink of an eye on Facebook because they are renting the space. They do not own the space. So what did that mean? That means they had to restart, rebuild. They stayed on Facebook. They have about 20,000 people that have come back on, but they had 58,000. And so when you're renting space on Facebook, it is not yours. I was in another group that did weekly events. These were events where, MLMs or different companies could come in and sell their wares. This really evolved a lot through COVID as we lost the ability to go to actual craft shows and fairs and different things like that. So they had about 3,000 people in it, and it was maybe a year old, but they put a lot of energy into getting those 3,000 members in that group. These are 3,000 shoppers that are ready to buy from people. And somebody posted a picture of a wine glass that had spilled red wine on the carpet. It was a white carpet. And she was selling a cleaning product. And they got a strike against them because people are not looking at these photos. It is bots. They have computer things in there. The bots are in there. They don't differentiate. They see red on the carpet. They think it's blood, and they got a strike against them. They could have lost their entire group because of that. It was not something that the channel owner or the group owner did. This was from someone that was in their group posting. So it can be from a member. But if you get a couple strikes, they will take away. You will lose everything. So what I'm trying to say is you want to be where you can own your content, where you're in charge of it. And that's what we give you on the Great Discovery. That is your space. We don't come in and tell you how you need to run it and what you need to do. It is not a free-for-all, obviously, but you're going to be able to control and monitor and manage it yourself. That is all on you. So your guidelines and your rules will apply on how you want that to run, right? And you don't have to worry about it just disappearing and you lose everything. So really, really important to remember that when we build groups on other spaces like Facebook, we don't own it and we could lose it after all of our hard work. And it can get hacked, which isn't a fun thing either. So moving on quickly, because I want to finish this up in about 10 minutes and I still got to do a demo. All right, what are the different content types that we're going to see on the Great Discovery? We're going to be able to do text. We're going to be able to do video. We can do audio. We can do images. And very, very soon, we'll be able to set up our Zoom calls right through our channel, which means live Zoom. You can watch it. You can participate in it. You can join it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to use your own Zoom. So why do we want to vary these things up? Well, like I said, we want to have different types of content that we're putting out each week. So decide in your mind what works best for you. Maybe you want to do a video once a week and maybe just an image. Everything is going to require you to write copy, which is the text that goes along with it. And you really want to make sure you're asking questions in there to get the audience to respond to you. Tell them what you are looking for. How do you want them to respond? Very, very important. Each post requires a title. It will include a descriptive written copy in there. You will control the content's visibility by selecting who you want this to go to. And you will be able to have the tiered access levels in there. And what do you want to put in there? How do you make it value driven? You want to have premium content. You want to give them some of the good stuff. Don't hoard it all to yourself. Give them some of the good stuff. Use, unique insights. Ask them questions. One of my favorite things, and I do it every week on my team, is we have an Ask Me Anything. You can actually put on there a weekly Ask Me Anything or a monthly Ask Me Anything. What do you need help with? This is going to give you so much information and it's going to provide so much value for them. What are they looking for? What are they struggling with? What is it that they're doing that they need help with? And this is why I love doing AMAs. I do it every week because there's always so many people that need help with things. And so it's really, really valuable tool to make sure you're putting things in there. All right. So now let's get down to the nitty gritty. What do we need on our channel? This is very important. We need the name of our channel. Make this unique to you, but don't make it so that I don't understand what it is. Don't make me guess. If I'm looking at it on a list and I don't know and I don't understand what it is about, I'm probably going to pass it by. So make sure that the name of your channel describes what it is that you do. You know I love things clever, but this is not the place to be clever. This is the place to be clear. So make sure your channel name is clear. And then once you decide, go look up in our channels and make sure nobody else has it. Because the last thing you want to do is send somebody to your channel and have them join somebody else's because they thought it was yours. So make sure it's unique to you. We will not tell you that. You need to check that. All right. And then you need a headline. What's a headline? A headline is 300 characters or less. It is basically a sentence or two that describes your channel. Not a big, long explanation, just a very simple, here's what we're doing in here so that people understand. Think of it as the sign out in front of a business that you're about to walk into. What does it say? Right? It'll have the name and it might give you a little tiny description about what you're going into, right? So that's really, really important. And then the channel page URL. Now I'll tell you, it will automatically give you a channel page URL. It will build that out when you put your name, your channel name in. However, if you want to change it, you can. But understand that if you go back and you change it after you've shared it, that the link that you shared previously will then be broken and they will not be able to if you sent it out in 100 emails and then a month later you're like, I really want a shorter URL so it's easier to remember. All those 100 people that you sent it to already, those links are now broken. They won't be able to find it that way. It'll give them a 404 error. So just keep that in mind. And then our cover image and size. Your cover image is going to be a circle. It's 1024 by 1024 is the recommended size. It'll be that circle picture of you. Use a great picture of you. We want to be able to see you clearly. Don't give me a picture with you and like 4 other people. I just want to see you in that picture. And then the banner image size must be 1600 by 400. Will it accept other sizes? Yes. Do we want it to be other sizes? No, we do not. Why do we care so much about the size of the banner? Because when it's showing up on our search page, if you have a large banner, it will look really wonky and offset to the rest of them. So it really, really needs to be that 1600 by 400. When you are creating that banner, please keep that center bottom space, which is like a half circle on the center bottom. Do not put anything there. Do not put words there because your image is going to be covering it. So if you have something written across there, it's going to be blocking it out. So keep that space nice and clear. Now our about. This is important. And I'm going to give you this page so you can have all this information. What is our about page? This is the winning ticket to get people in your group. They're going to join your community if this meets what they are looking for. So who you help? Who is this for? Who do you want to see in there? Is it like, let me know exactly who it is that you need to have it there because they need to know, is this me? Is this for me? That's what they're asking themselves. And then what will they get? What are you going to be talking about in there? So mine is podcasting. And then who is it for? It is for anyone that wants to learn how to podcast, is a podcaster, wants to grow their podcast, wants to be a guest, wants to learn more about podcasting, has no idea, but they think podcasting is cool, come join me in my place. What are you going to get? You're going to learn the basics of podcasting. You're going to get tips on how to grow your podcast. You're going to learn how to do different things with your podcast, how to get the most out of your podcast, right? How to start it, how to create it, how to promote it. Those are the things that are going to be what they're going to get. What's my vibe or mission? I want to teach the world how to podcast and share their voice. I think your voice is important, your story is important, and what you have to say is important. And I want to help you get it out there, whether it's as a guest or as a podcast host. Whatever I need to do, I want to help you do that, right? So that comes from my heart. That is my mission. That is why I do it. And then the call to action. This is where you're going to tell me about your membership tiers so I can find the place that makes me feel at home. What you are trying to create is a space for people to feel like they are at home, that this is their group, their family. These are the people they want to hang out with. They know that the door is always open. They can come in and kick off their shoes. They can grab something out of the fridge without asking. It's home. That's the feeling that you want to give people. So you want to help them find the space that works best for them. Maybe they just want the free membership. I always say you need to have a free membership to draw them in. And then however you want to do the tiers, however you want to write those out, you're going to create those and let them know this is the place for you if you want to do this. This is what we're going to do in here, and be really specific about it. All right. And there's lots more ways to learn about what to do with your channel. I have a TGD Channels course. It's called Creating a Channel on the Great Discovery. And you'll be able to find it listed under courses with my name. If you want to get the whole thing and go through all of it from start to finish, and go way ahead of where I'm going to be teaching during these next few weeks. And I also highly recommend Jenny Rice's course. She helps you build out your course and keep content flowing on there. All right, I'm going to stop sharing and then we're going to go dive in. So far, any questions from anybody before I go to the next part? All right, here we go. Yes, it is being recorded. Thanks for asking. We are recording and we are streaming live over on Facebook. Hi, Facebook. Like and subscribe. All right, here we go. So we are now on the Great Discoveries platform. We are at thegreatdiscovery.com. I am logged into my account. You need to be logged into your account. And we're going to go to the top of the page right in the middle where it says for creators, very important. I'm going to click on the for creators button. And then in the purple here, I'm going to go to channels. It is the fourth one over, and I'm going to click on channels. This will bring me to my channels dashboard. So here I am. I'm on my channels dashboard. I can see my channels listed in here. And I'm going to click on my podcasting one. If you are just starting your channel, it will say start new channel. Okay. So you're going to click on it. Now mine is already created. So I'm going to go into the edit side of things so you can see what it looks like. So you'll see here's my banner image. It is in the 1600 by 400 size. It does tell you that right on the page. And you'll see that I left this center part where you can see this little edit button here. That is where my face shows up when I'm looking at my page, at my channel on the platform. Then I put in my photo. It is a circle. So I put myself in there. It's a square image I uploaded, but it puts it into a circle. You'll be able to edit it and move it around a little bit. And that is the 1024 by 1024 size. Now we're going to go to the name of the channel. This is where you're going to put your channel in. So mine is simply podcasting. But if I wanted to change this, if I wanted to make this longer, maybe you have a longer title. Maybe I want this to say podcasting for beginners, right? You'll see as I change that the URL right below it has changed. Now it says podcasting -for-beginners. This is what I'm talking about. If you wanted to change your URL, this is where you can do it. But understand that if you do change it, it will break your link that you've done before. But I don't want to change I love that it's just called podcasting. That's where I want it to be. When I take this for beginners away, you'll see the URL will change back to just podcasting. Yep, just like that. Now that's gone. So I don't need to do anything more with that. I'm happy with where it is. Now I'm going to go on to the headline. So my line says, welcome to the ultimate podcasting community. We offer 3 membership tiers designed to support you at every stage of your podcasting journey. I'm telling them that I work with every level of podcaster. So I want them to be clear that they know that I've worked for people that haven't started, with people that are, maybe a year in, and I work with high level podcasters. I offer everything to everyone, right? And then we get down to our about section, about your channel. Now, this doesn't have that character limit on it. You'll be able to create this any way you want. You can put bullet points in here. You can put emojis in here. You can do it any way that you would like to set it up. I always recommend setting it up into a document, moving all the things around, and then copying and pasting it, putting it in here. I think that works best, but that's just me. So you'll see I have my about. You get a chance. You can make things bold. You can make it italic. You can do all the things in here. You can even put links in here if you'd like to. Hey, if you're also looking to start my course, I could put my link to my free podcasting course in here. Whatever you want to do, you can put in here. This is very, very simple. Then you would simply hit save changes or publish if it's your first time doing it, and allow you to publish your channel, and then you're up and running. So how does this look? What does this look like when we're out here? Well, let's go into, I'm going to show you what it looks like on the Great Discovery. So I'm going to go back to the Great Discovery, go down the page here to channels. I'm going to see all channels. And then I'm going to go down and I'm just going to click on my name, and you will see when I go to my channel, I want to show you, see how this circle shows up right here? This is why I keep this space nice and open right in the middle. I want it clean and clear and easy to read. I don't recommend you filling up your banner with tons and tons of stuff, because if we go back to the main page, right, you're going to see we can't read a lot of this, right? I think it's fantastic, but there's also a lot of stuff in here that is very difficult to read, right? So I can't read this. So I would ask for this to be a lot clearer. It's very similar to podcast art, where you want very simple elements in that banner so that it's big letters, easy to read, because some people will go and they will read things and other people look at images. That's what they relate to. And if they can't see what it's about before they click it, then they might skip by it. So if you're like, why is nobody, joining this and signing up for it? Well, maybe this because when they first see it on here, it doesn't grab them, right? So that's why I think it's really important to make the post, like make your channel as crisp and clean as it can be, right? So I just want to see, what is this about? Makes sense with your money channel. That makes sense, right? Entrepreneurs, but I can't read this. So resilient faith. What's wrong with this one? Does anybody know? I'm going to call this one out. What's wrong with this one? It's a great name, but what would I call out on this? Anybody know? What am I seeing on this one right here, the one in the middle? I'll show you. Let's look at it.
Isn't it going to cover up the title?
Yes, it is. See? Oh. It goes right. So what do we want to do? We want to move all this lettering up a bit. I know we want to see the sunrise, but I would put this up, just a bit and make sure that there's more space in there. So those are the things that I think are really important when you're looking at things, because the lettering is great and it's nice and big and it's super easy to read. But what I really want to do is I want to be able, I don't want it covering things. I want it to show clearly. So these are some of the tips that I have. Now, I want to just kind of open this up. Does anybody have any questions on anything? Anyone struggling with things on their channel?
I don't have a channel, but I guess you just have different